So what were your overall thoughts on the East Coast trip?
I thought we learned a lot. It sucks to learn things through losses, but like Matt always says, you gain experience when things don't go your way. So obviously a lot of things didn't go our way over the trip, but we just gained more experience throughout it, and I think it taught us a lot of lessons that will carry on into Pac-12 play.
How do you feel you grew throughout the East Coast trip? Willow going down, she's kind of your senior counterpart out there. Do you feel you even grew more as a leader?
Yeah, I think I had to do a lot more vocally, and I think even though I bring a lot physically throughout the game, I had to pep people up when they felt down, because it's really easy when things aren't going your way to get in your head and start thinking super negative thoughts, and that only makes you worse. So just trying to motivate them to be their best throughout the games, which it's hard and they're still learning, but I think I had to step up more in that aspect.
You talked a lot in the preseason about becoming a leader and becoming a different type of leader. Was this kind of a learning experience for you in this 2 weeks, stepping into that role that's been talked about so much?
Yeah, most definitely. I caught myself struggling because when you feel like you're giving so much and then you still lose, that does a lot, mentally it just it hurts. And I was really hurt after I think the Duke loss, because that one was just do set, loss. And the close one, every loss hurts, but the ones that could have gone either way seem to sting a little more. And so I think after that one I got in my head a lot and I didn't want to talk to anyone. And then we had a game a couple hours later, and I just thought to myself, you can be really mad about this loss right now and the team's gonna feed off of that, or you can change right now and try to be positive and try to give as much as you can so everyone knows that it is okay, we still can bounce back from this. And so I think it wasn't until right when we warmed up that I decided to change. In the locker room I was quiet, I had my headphones in, no one was gonna talk to me. I was so mad, but then right when we stepped on the court I was you gotta change or else it's not gonna be good for us.
How much did losing Willow just kind of change the whole tournament? I mean, it's one thing to lose her in the last or the second to last game, but yeah, you're up on Pitt in the fourth set, and that's the first game of the whole trip.
Yeah.
And she kind of goes down. I mean, how did that change just sort of the mentality, morale, emotion of where that trip was and where it was going to go?
Yeah, it definitely hurt emotionally. Just seeing, Will was my girl. Seeing her go down, I almost cried. It was just so sad. You hate to see her go down. She's worked so hard and she wants this so bad. And so to see her go down right in the beginning, right when things were swinging our way, it hurt. But I think it just gave us more experience. Like I said before, obviously things didn't go our way and we were super disappointed with that, but it's only making us stronger in the long run.
I know going forward, you had a feeling some of the non-conference results might not have gone your way just because of the sheer amount of freshmen that you guys have on this team. How much experience do you think they gained? What did you see out of them improvement-wise over the last couple of weeks that maybe might translate into Pac-12 play, and later when with more experience under their belt what they just had, that might show in a different way?
Yeah, Matt always said would you rather have your adversity now, in the beginning, or would you rather have it later? And so we were now. And so they learned a lot, and I think it was the hard way. I think you learn the most when it's the hardest. So watching them, I think the biggest lesson they can take away is to always be aggressive. It's the times where we go in soft or we go in unaggressive, that's when the other teams will get the points, because you go in doubting yourself and there's no way that you're gonna break through. You'll get lucky sometimes, but most of the time it's not going your way. But I think preaching to them over and over again to always go in aggressive and always go in wanting to kill, always going in wanting to better the ball, even though they don't think it is, when you go in aggressive, then things seem to fall your way more likely than not.
And for Brooke, making the jump from last year this year for no position, what have you seen from her going from last year all the way to now?
She's so good. Brooke is amazing. We've passed two persons to receive her. She's passed two persons to receive with Georgia, and then also had to hit front row, and is also running and covering people, and also making all the defensive moves that she made last year, but playing everywhere. And so she's just crazy good. She takes whatever is handed to her and she makes it 10 times better. She wants to be so good for the team, for herself, and so she's just a really selfless player. And watching her take over the way she does, now that she can bring it offensively, before it was all defense with her energy, but she brings it on both sides. It's cool to see. She's super talented.
Were there any individual players that really caught your eye of really improved throughout the East Coast trip?
I think Kylie really improved. Running a 5-1 as a redshirt freshman isn't easy, especially when you have like me like barking at her, like send me the ball. Like, I think she's coming into her own. It's really easy to struggle. We played against some, what do you guys call it, hostile crowds. Like, they were pretty aggressive out there, and so just to see her like develop each game and become the leader on the court that I know she can be. She still doubts herself a little, but Kylie for sure, and then Taylor Williams had some great moments. She just needed to keep believing that she can have those moments all the time.
What were those crowds like, by the way? I mean, it seems like it's a different animal out there in the Big Ten with volleyball.
I think it's like amazing. Like, I love their crowds, and I like wish, like, I want our crowds and our students to be just like that. It's so funny, and like, I don't get affected by it just because like I think it's hilarious. Like, they're like chanting at us and like I don't know, they're just so cool, and the energy that they have and that they bring is like, it's really unique, and I'm glad that we got to experience it and we got to see good volleyball with a really great crowd. So it was fun to be a part of.
What was the hardest place to play throughout the entire trip?
I would say it's like, you would want to think that it would be like Penn State, but I actually think we played pretty well versus Penn State. Probably our best volleyball. I don't know why I said volleyball. I would say the hardest place to play was probably Princeton, and that like, because there wasn't really like that much of a crowd, and we really had to focus on our energy. And it's like I said before in a meeting, like, when there's a large crowd and like everyone's yelling at you, you can't even hear your own thoughts. So you don't have time to think about how bad you're playing or how well you're playing, just because like you have to think about the next point because they're distracting you so much. And so when there's like silence and you just make an error and you make another error on top of it, like all you have is your thoughts. And if you're not a good self-motivator, then you can get trapped in yourself. So I would say Princeton, they were a really good team and they brought it to us, and it was also quiet in the gym, so we had to motivate ourselves throughout the whole match to keep it going and keep the energy.
And for this year for you, I mean, no Lauren, you know, of course, no Lindsay. How has this year been for you, like personally, like going into this kind of like by yourself? You know, like this is your team now, and like how have you taken this team, this road trip, and this own conference? How has this year been for you personally?
For me, it's still weird like not having them, but it's a completely different team. Like, I don't think, like, if you look at our roster last year and then look at this year, it's just crazy how it's just a whole different team. But I think this team, the chemistry, like everyone is super close with each other, like on weekends, instead of wanting to spend time away from each other, because we already get enough time with each other in the gym. Like, everyone still wants to hang out, everyone still wants to be around each other, and it's just like, we're young, and I think the connections we have with freshmen, like the seniors to the freshmen, you know, no juniors, one sophomore, like, it's still really close, and we're a really tight-knit group. And so to see that chemistry, even though there is like an age range, I think it's cool to be a part of, even without my girls.